Good afternoon, everyone. Guys, it is going to get weird today on the channel. So we're going to be talking about a potential reason why we have not escalated into nuclear Armageddon yet. Now, this comes from one of your comments. I can't remember the video. I think it was like a couple of days ago. You know, one of the comments put me onto something, and I was like, right, okay, let's explore this. So first of all, I want to explore this with you. I don't know what the answer is. I don't think any of us are going to know the answer. But there's some really bizarre articles. And, if you put these together and you take a step back and you discard everything else, there could be a possibility here. But guys, you're going to have to open your mind with me and step into the weird world. So we're going to go with this article here, guys, first from the History Channel. I think it's the History Channel. Yeah. And then we're going to go to another one called, that one. So this one. So why have there been so many UFO sightings near nuclear facilities? It started in the 1940s near A-bomb development sites. I'm assuming that's atom bomb, but it might just be a bomb. Development sites. More recently, something has been stalking nuclear carrier strike groups. So this all fits into place, doesn't it? When there's the Nimitz, the Tic Tac UFOs, all this sort of stuff, they always seem to appear around nuclear sites. And those UFOs reported in the United Kingdom, they're always around tritium sites. For those of you who don't know, the UK is one of the, it's one of the leading providers of tritium, which is a key, it's a key component to nuclear weapons. Why are so many UFOs being reported near nuclear facilities? And why isn't there more urgency on the part of the government to assess their potential national security threat? Guys, that's a perfectly reasonable question. I mean, our nuclear deterrent is supposed to be the most highly guarded thing that we have in our country. And if there's these UFOs whizzing around, you would like to think that there would be more, what's the word I'm looking for? More investigation into what they are. I mean, how do we know they're not Russian drones? How do we know they're not Chinese drones? We don't know. So I can double this one up as well with crop circles. Now, I'm fascinated with crop circles. I mean, they appear every year around that Wiltshire area. For those of you, I did the video on witchcraft and crop circles. They seem to all be in the same area. Now, imagine if you where you're, let me stop sharing. Now, imagine, so with the crop circles, imagine you wake up every morning. So in the summer months, for example, imagine you wake up every morning and there's graffiti on your house, a very specific graffiti, it's got very distinct lines, it's geometrically perfect. And you're like, would you just, if you saw that on the side of your house, would you just say, oh, it just happens. Yeah, it's nothing to worry about. It just happens. No, of course not. There should be more government funding. Yeah, more government. Guys, I would rather put more money in government funding to find out what the cause of crop circles were than send it abroad to, climate change in Africa or whatever. So, why is there no government insight into this? And it just seems to me like everybody's turning a blind eye. Everybody knows what crop circles are, but how are they formed? I don't believe 1 second crop circles are done by students with a piece of string and, and a stamping board. Don't believe it. Not in a million years. Why don't we ever see half-finished crop circles if that's the case? How long you wouldn't be able to do one of these crop circles in a night time. Think about the summer nights when the summer's closed. Well, when the sun's out. You only get a very limited amount of nighttime hours. So trying to make, it's just absurd, guys, that these things, that we're told that these things are made with people with bits of string and a board. So. But let's just keep that article in mind, guys. Why are there so many UFO sightings near nuclear facilities? And then we get this one. Now it gets weird, guys. Now it's going to get weird. Apollo astronaut says aliens prevented a nuclear war on Earth. Let me close that. Sometimes it's amusing to poke fun at conspiracy theories. After all, most of them believe irrational stories with little or no evidence and attempt to fit contrasting evidence to their theory. Guys, I did a like a debunk on one of the UFO sightings in Wales, and I said, look, 100%, this is not a UFO. This is a military training exercise. And the military actually came out and said, yeah, this is a military training exercise. But all the conspiracy theorists were like, oh, that's what you would say. But it is, because I've been on that exercise many times, and I could literally all these things that they were saying were UFOs. I could explain what they were, and I could say what was happening. As opposed to actual scientists who realize their theories could be wrong in the face of evidence to the contrary. But here we go, guys. So here it gets weird. But in the case of NASA's former Apollo 14 astronaut, Edgar Mitchell, it's actually a bit sad what's happening. So, it looks like they're trying to discredit this guy, calling him a conspiracy theorist. But, let's take it at face value. Since he returned from the moon in 1971, he has spouted some interesting, increasingly bizarre conspiracy theories, mostly regarding aliens visiting Earth. And his latest is no different. In an interview with the Mirror Online, he says that aliens came to Earth to prevent a nuclear war between the US and Soviet Union during the Cold War. Dum, dum, dum. So, when we're talking about these red lines with Russia, with Ukraine, when we're talking about the United States having the biggest air force and the second biggest air force, with the US Air Force and the US Navy, it kind of all fits in, and you don't really need to push any boundaries to see this fitting in. The Russians have had red line after red line after red line pushed, to the context now where you've actually got Ukrainians pushing into Russia, taking their ground. At what point will Russians use these weapons, nuclear weapons? Or, has Putin been told by some alien overlord, and it's wild saying it, not to use the nuclear weapons? The interview, he references the famous White Sands missile range facility in New Mexico, where the world's first atomic bomb, Trinity, lovely name, Trinity, was tested on the 16th of July 1945. White Sands is a testing ground for atomic weapons, and that's what the extraterrestrials were interested in, he said. They wanted to know about our military capabilities. My own experience talking to people has made it clear ETs have been attempting to keep us from going to war and help create peace on Earth. So, guys, I'm going to leave it there, but I'll put these links in the description. Now, I'm not sure where we go with this. I mean, aliens coming to Earth telling people not to use nuclear weapons. Okay, whatever. But what I will say is, I saw I think it was Elon Musk who was doing it. In fact, I'll put a link in the description. As I understand, it was Elon Musk. He was saying that there's isotopes on Mars that can only be made during a nuclear, that can only be present if there's been a nuclear strike. So could it be that there was a war on Mars or something, and it wiped out their civilization, and then aliens had to come somewhere else, and now they don't want us to have the same nuclear war on Earth? These are just wild things that are being thrown out there. But we've got to ground this in reality. And guys, I don't know why the Russians have not used nuclear weapons at the moment, because it seems like red line after red line after red line is being taken. Even today, one of my previous videos, we said, didn't we, that, the Russians are looking at using, the Ukrainians, it's almost inevitable now, are going to be given the green light to use Western weapons to strike targets inside Russia. Now, I've identified that the Kursk nuclear power plant, this could be a legitimate target. Remember, you don't need to cause a nuclear catastrophe to take that nuclear power plant offline. There's lots of infrastructure, surrounding infrastructure that you could target that would turn that power off for all those people. So when we're talking about nuclear red lines and red lines being crossed, we've crossed, the West, NATO, Ukraine have crossed so many. Could this be the answer? Could it be aliens coming down telling us? I don't know, guys. Bit of a weird one. Just thought I'd put it out there for you. Anyway, guys, I'm going to back to grid, and I will speak to you guys later.